and we're going to build a flight plan by scratch to the Charles M. Schulz Airport. And you notice in the title I have minimum altitudes, and what I'm going to do, what I'm going to discuss, is I'm going to discuss the charts. Just this again. This is I've never flown in a Cessna. I'm not a pilot. This isn't training or anything like that. But this is just knowledge that I've gathered over the years, or not over the years, but well, I guess over the years. Just a knowledge that I've gathered off of YouTube and watching others on Flight Simulator fly and whatnot. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to Sky Vector right here, and we have KACV. That's Arcata Eureka, and I'm going to build a flight plan right here on Sky Vector. And so what we do is we just highlight this with our left mouse button, we click it, and we just hit plan, and that puts it in our plan. And our destination today is going to be KSTS Santa Rosa. And you actually look at this is charts that real pilots use, and you can look at the weather. You can look at all of those numbers mean something. And right now it looks like the winds are calm. It says 000 at 00. So I believe that would be calm. It says KSTS 22 1753 Zulu, and then 00000. So that's very calm weather there. If I'm reading that correctly, either that or maybe the information is missing. But we'll be tuning into the automatic weather observation station, or surface observation station, or ATIS, terminal information service or station. Okay, so anyway, we highlight this and we hit plan, and so we got the plan right now. That's a direct flight right there. And what we're going to do is there's several different routes that you can fly, and of course this right here is the green leaf is the most economical route. Kind of like Google Maps, they have a green leaf too. Whenever you're putting in building in a trip on Google Maps, gives you the most economical, and so this is the most economical. And I guess that would be just one waypoint right there, KBEX, which is right here. And or you can choose this one here, which goes pretty much the same direction. And we've got FOT, which brings you out in this direction. And then you have this one here, which I'm not sure exactly why that is. You're flying over the ocean. Maybe that's why that's a different color. You're actually flying. I'm not exactly sure what the purpose of that is. And then you have the last one, which is, and this also flies over the ocean, and it's got that again. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and do this right here. And then, as you noticed in the title, I have minimum altitudes, and I wanted to discuss that. You have different charts here. This is Klamath Falls. You have in route L2, world VR, world low, in route H3, and then world high. Not exactly sure what in route H2 or L2 or A3 stands for. There's world VR, and then there's world high. And these are jet airways for those planes that are flying pretty high. But the one I wanted to talk about today is the world low. And if you notice, you kind of zoom in here, you see some minimum altitudes. This right here, this number right here is 8,000. And that's the minimum altitude. You don't want to be any lower than 8,000. You got mountains and whatnot. That's the way I understand it anyway. And this one right here is 9,000. And this one here, going over here, that's 6,000, 4,700 on our way to. So you got 6,000. I guess 4,700 that would be afterwards. But and we're going to be watching a video. There's 6800G, and the video talks about what G stands for and what the different the different symbols. I'm just looking at a very rudimentary perspective of how all this works, but of course obviously there's training and things like that. But go back to Klamath Falls and we'll get into our flight here. So here we are, ready to fly. Now I'm wondering, well, what I want to do first, Control 2, is I'm going to go ahead and build a flight plan. So we got the flight plan right here, the origin. What you do is you press the button here, and then you scroll down, and then you scroll right, and then we could do this the conventional way, scrolling around. What you do is you just right there, and then there's the K. It starts with a K, and then you go over, and then the A, and then the C, and then the V, Victor. And there we go. We got the origin, and it's going to ask for the runway, and we're going to say none. And that's the conventional way of doing it. Now we roll down en route right here. Microsoft Flight Simulator has a neat little thing. There's a button right here, and the button, if you press that, then you can use the keyboard on your computer. So KNEES is our first waypoint, Montague, and then you click that button again, take it off, and then you can press enter. And then again, we'll go ahead and use this again. Our next waypoint is ENI, and then we'll enter that. One thing I wanted to do first before I started entering all of this, and I didn't do it, is I wanted to, we're going to fly to 10,000 feet. So that's going to be our altitude, is 10,000 feet. So let's see if I can, okay, I put it in. It already put it in, 10,000 feet. And then now KBEX. So we go right here, and then we hit CABEX, and then we'll enter that, and it assigned this to 5742. But watch what happens whenever I put in the destination airport is KSTS, Kilo Sierra Tango Sierra, and that's the Charles M. Schulz, Sonoma County, Santa Rosa, California airport. And we will press enter, and so that brought any to 10,000, and then the last one. So I'm going to say no runway, and what I want to do now is I want the ATIS, the local ATIS here. So what we can do for our radio right here, this is our #1 radio. You press this button here, and then you hit, okay, ASOS, and it's a service observation station, same thing. Okay, so you press enter, and now that put that number right there, and then we're going to go ahead and make that active. And here we're listening.
Weather observation 18000 Zulu. Wind calm. Visibility 9er. Sky conditions ceiling 500 feet overcast. Temperature 11C, dew point 10C. Altimeter 3016.
Okay.
Kilo Alpha
I'm going to go ahead and shut that off. Can I shut it off?
Zulu.
I guess I can't shut it off.
Visibility 9er. Sky conditions ceiling 500
Okay.
feet overcast.
Let's just do this.
Temperature 11C, dew point 10C.
Departure,
Altimeter
press
3016.
and that put that
Kilo
in,
Alpha Charlie Victor
and we'll go ahead and make
automated
that
weather
active. 3016. So we'll bring our altimeter to 3016. Turn on our pitot heat. We're going to go ahead and undo the brake there. We have our altitude set. What I want to do now is I want to synchronize our heading. Our heading right there is there. We could just roll the knob around, but to synchronize it, you press it. There's a button there, so you can press that. Okay, so now we're pretty much set for our takeoff here. And so we got Kilo Alpha Charlie Victor going to knees, going to innie, going to KBEX, and we're going to climb to 10,000 feet. And I believe that we're good to go there. And then once again, looking at the sky vector here, and that's it. We're going to be climbing to knees, and then flying. That's vector 607 or Victor. We'll go ahead and look at the world VR right here, and we got any. Where's any at? It's any one of these. There's 607. There's any, and then of course our destination KBEX is right over there. Okay, there's KBEX. There's any. Now, again, looking at this world low, we have. No, I didn't want to do that. Okay, edit undo. I guess whatever. Hang on. Straighten that out. Apparently you can drag this around and put it on any waypoint you want. Plug it into your computer. But anyway, I just wanted to talk about there's minimum altitudes. Knees right there. We want to be at 8,000 feet here. And we're going to watch a video on that. Let's get flying. So we have real-time weather. This is real-time weather and real-time time. And I'm going to look around here. Just want to set everything up here. I like to have just a little bit of the nose there. There we go. A little bit of the nose. And I'll go ahead and here we go. I'm going to announce to traffic. And then we are going to be departing to the south. So we got our
Kilo
heading.
Alpha Charlie Victor traffic says in November Charlie
synchronized.
77 Charlie Charlie taking off runway 32 south departure.
And we have our pitot heat on. There we go. We got the RPMs in the green there. And we're gonna rotate. Right, the R there, we'll rotate. Okay. Get about a 7-degree pitch there. Get a good roll on it. 7-degree pitch, roll, autopilot. Flight level change, heading. Now, if you notice that when I hit autopilot, it kept my pitch and my roll. And now I'm flying off of the flight level change, which whenever I hit flight level change, it started it at 77 knots. And I'm going to go ahead and bring that up to the Y there. So we'll bring that down a little bit to trying to get it to about the Y, which is the best rate of climb. And I'm going to turn around now using our heading. Two functions here with this. You use the mouse button or the roller button on your mouse to turn this thing. You can hold down the shift key and that turns it actually faster, a little bit faster while you're rolling it. And then I'm going to go ahead and turn on my nav, and so it'll capture that. You'll see, okay, it's already captured, so GPS now is active. But the other thing, the two functions, I was talking about two functions there. If you roll the mouse button elsewhere, it zooms in. So sometimes when I'm rolling this thing around, it's like zooms in. But anyway, we are in the clouds. A pretty foggy day here in Humboldt County. which is a common occurrence over here coming off of the ocean. So we are now joining the flight plan here. We are climbing at about 950, 900 feet a minute over the clouds. Okay, and then as we're climbing here, I want to go ahead. We got a good climb. We've got a good steady climb. I'm going to go ahead and bring back the mixture a little bit to get a little more lean as we start going into the higher altitudes here. You can see the fuel flow graph backing off a little bit on the power. And looking here, we have a good steady climb just at about that Y right there. So we're on a flight level change. While we're doing that, let's go ahead and watch a video. I'm going to put a link below.
Almost all IFR flights, ATC will assign an altitude to aircraft as part of a clearance or an
I'm going to play just part of this.
However, there's about a dozen types of minimum altitudes we need to know about for purposes of planning, emergencies, and general situational awareness. The air traffic control system also uses these minimums when assigning altitudes or approving flight plans. Almost all of these altitudes are depicted on our IFR and route low chart. Here's the area over central Wyoming. Let's have a look at this airway, Victor 298, between the Boysen Reservoir and Muddy Mountain VORs. The numbers above the black box indicating the airway number depict some minimum altitudes for this route. The bottom number with an asterisk at the start is the minimum obstruction clearance altitude, or MOCA. The top number is the minimum en route altitude, or MEA. If we're flying at or above the MOCA, 10,300 feet, we're guaranteed obstruction clearance along the whole route. Specifically, we have 1,000 feet of clearance above the highest obstacle, within 4 miles of the airway centerline, or 2,000 feet of clearance in designated mountainous terrain. In addition to obstacle clearance, we're also assured some navigational coverage from the 2 VOR stations making up this segment of the airway. As long as we're within 22 miles of either VOR station, we'll be able to use them to navigate along the route. If we go beyond 22 miles, because of our lower altitude, we may not be able to pick up either VOR station due to terrain limiting our line of sight of the signals at a greater distance. Without navigational coverage, our VOR receiver will switch to off mode and we won't be able to navigate along the airway until we get within 22 miles of the next VOR station at Boysen Reservoir and are able to pick up that signal. For this reason, it's common for IFR flights to only take place at or above the minimum en route altitude, 11,000 feet here. At the MEA, not only do we have the obstruction clearance guaranteed just like at the MOCA, but we get signal coverage along the entire route of flight, 91 miles on this segment. This means that at any point along the segment of Victor 298, we'll be able to navigate either by flying outbound on the radial from Muddy Mountain or inbound along the radial to Boysen Reservoir. We may even be able to receive both VOR signals along some portions of the route. Typically, we should be able to switch which VOR we're using to navigate at the halfway point of the segment. Here, that would be half of the 91 miles in the box, or 45.5 miles from either VOR. Sometimes, due to terrain or reception issues, we may not be able to switch at the halfway point. Here we've placed a big mountain in front of Boysen Reservoir. Because it's blocking the signal, we won't be able to use it at the halfway point. The MEA isn't high enough to allow us to do so. In these cases, you'll see a zigzag symbol like this called a changeover point. We'll locate it closer to Boysen Reservoir, indicating that we should only switch which VOR we're navigating off of when we get to this point, which is just 25 miles from Boysen Reservoir or 66 miles from Muddy Mountain. Like we said, you'll usually be at or above the MEA. However, sometimes it makes sense to fly at a lower MOCA. When icing conditions are present at higher altitudes, for example, you may be able to ask ATC to descend down to the MOCA and look for warmer or clearer conditions. You could do this if you're within 22 miles of either nav. You can also descend to a MOCA if you're equipped with an approved GPS in addition to your VOR receivers, which brings up another important minimum altitude on the charts.
And this talks about the G.
Here's a chart over Iowa. Having a look at Victor 138, we see that there are 3 altitudes listed, one of them in blue. The top one is the MEA still, 4,500 feet, and the middle one in blue is called the GNSS MEA. This is the minimum en route altitude you're allowed to fly if you have an approved GPS on board. And the lower altitude of the asterisk is still the MOCA. Let's look at why having a GPS on board lets you fly at a lower altitude. At the standard MEA, we rely on VOR signals to navigate the OR. These signals start at ground level, so we need to have line of sight with the station in order to receive them. At the MEA of 4,500 feet, we have no trouble receiving the signal. If we descend to 3,000 feet though, the signal is blocked by terrain. Now, if we have GPS on board, we can take advantage of the satellite network, which is based in space and is able to broadcast down to our
Which is
aircraft.
good for
No matter how low you're
small
flying,
planes, because you'll be flying underneath the ice.
Notice the GPS MEA is published along with the MOCA, and then on this airway they happen to be the same altitude. In the absence of a published GPS MEA, the aircraft can still be assigned a lower MOCA as long as they have a working GPS.
Okay, so it goes to other segments here. Reception altitude, MEA changes, and this is important to know too. Your MEA changes, minimum crossing altitude, or ROCA. So, get a chance, watch this video here. It's very good. But let's see how we're doing on our climb here. We're at 5,800. We're climbing right along here. And I'm going to go ahead and select flight following here to the Seattle Center. Request flight following.
Seattle Center, Cessna November Charlie 77 Charlie Charlie is type Cessna Skyhawk, 6 miles east of Kilo Echo Kilo Alpha, 6,000 feet. Request flight following.
Cessna November Charlie 77 Charlie Charlie Seattle Center. Squawk 0601.
0601.
Cessna 7 Charlie Charlie radar contact 6 miles east of Kilo Echo Kilo Alpha, 6,200 feet. Altimeter tree 0.15.
Okay, so we got the right altimeter on.
Roger,
Acknowledge.
Cessna 7 Charlie Charlie.
Okay. So we are climbing. Got the window here. A beautiful day in the over the redwood forest. Now I don't know if, let's join our drone here. I don't know if we can actually see any redwood trees. We are over pretty much a lot of the redwood forest, but I don't know if Microsoft Flight Simulator depicts that or not. So I'm pressing F6 on my keyboard to speed up the drone. Go down and take a look. Those are some pretty tall trees. I don't know. But it's a very nice day. I don't know if that's a right there. That might be like a national park lodge or whatever. Plane is up there somewhere. There it is. We'll go ahead and keep the drone down here and then go back into our plane. We are now at knees. We're just about at knees, and then we'll take a little slight turn here. And we are now at 7,100 feet, climbing to 10,000. Our next waypoint is 106 nautical miles away. And over an hour, we have a nice little tailwind there, about a 14 knot tailwind. So maybe that'll help us. Now this time right here is commensurate on the speed that we're going right now. So, as you can see, it even increased just a little bit there. We are climbing at 75 knots at the best rate of climb speed. Now the Y, the G, the X, and the R, from my understanding, just looking around on the internet, the Y is the best rate of climb, the G is the best glide speed, the X is the best angle of climb, and then the R is, of course, the rotation speed. But we are climbing now at the best rate of climb, and that'll be the Y. And we're using that with the flight level change mode. What I did is I took off, and I got this from Citation Max. This is what he does, is whenever he takes off in his jet, he's got a Cessna Citation. And what he does is he, whenever he establishes a positive rate climb, he will, I think what he does is he'll engage the autopilot, and that'll hold the pitch and the roll. You'll see roll right here, and you'll see pitch right there. So whatever pitch that your plane is in, it'll maintain that. Whatever roll, left or right, or even straight, whatever your roll your plane is in, it'll maintain that roll. And then what he does is he hits the flight level change, and in his case he's got a yaw damper too, so I think he hits the yaw damper and then the flight level change, or vice versa. I don't know, maybe flight level change and then yaw damper. But then what that does, the flight level change, it'll hold the plane at whatever speed he's going at the current time. And so what we did there when we took off is I hit the autopilot and maintained the roll and the pitch, and then I hit flight level change, and then I hit heading, because I had the heading synchronized, of course. Still, we can synchronize the heading again. Maybe it's a good idea to keep that heading synchronized. But it maintained our speed whenever flight level change was engaged. And then, of course, you can adjust it up and down right here. And what I did is I just adjusted it up a little bit, changed it to 75, which is pretty much in line with that best rate of climb. So, and as you get into the higher altitudes, you'll notice that your climb rate starts slowing down, and that's because of the thinner atmosphere. Cessna's, of course, Cessna 172s don't have any pressurized systems or anything like that. So I do believe in real life that if you were to fly a Cessna, and the ceiling for a Cessna is 14,000 feet, that you would need some oxygen tanks above 10,000. You notice a lot of times if there's depressurizations in a jet, immediately what they do is they'll bring the plane down, if they can. If they're flying over the Himalayas, they certainly can. It would be, I don't know what situation they would do there, but they would bring the plane down to 10,000 feet, which is a breathable oxygen. So we are in our drone here, taking a look around. A lot of roads there. I believe a lot of those patches is from the logging. There's definitely a logging industry all through the Northwest, all the way to California. Of course, it's very highly regulated so that they can keep the trees growing, and that you don't want to. They have cut down redwood trees too, which is a shame, but you don't really want to cut down redwood. Now, redwood trees do fall. And certainly I believe that it's okay to harvest all of that wood. $9,200. Now I have on my primary flight display, I have there's primary flight display options, and I have on it the wind. There's 3 options. There's off, there's option 1, there's option 2, there's option 3. I like option 3 the best because it tells you which degree it's coming in from and how fast it is. What I want to do now is I want to get the frequencies for KSTS. And this is probably something in real life that you would do on the ground. You probably wouldn't want to do this in the air, but you press this button here and then you highlight Kilo Sierra, Tango Sierra. You press enter and that shows you your frequencies. And so you got the surface observation station, I'm going to put this on my second radio, so I'm pressing this there. That highlights the second radio, and press this button here, bring it down. Now watch what happens to this number right here, 124.850. Instead of twisting around and trying to figure all of that out, you can just highlight it right there, press enter, and then that puts it right there, and then you can make that active.
Kilo Alpha Charlie Victor automated weather observation 180
Okay.
Zulu.
Why not?
Wind calm.
Let's
Visibility niner. Sky condition ceiling 500 feet overcast. Temperature 11C, dew point 10C. Altimeter 3016. Kilo Alpha Charlie Victor automated weather observation 180
So what
Zulu. Wind calm. Visibility niner. Sky condition
I'm confused
ceiling
because
500
this
feet
isn't
overcast.
this isn't Santa
Temperature
Rosa.
11C, dew point 10C. Altimeter 3016.
Okay, we'll turn that off.
Kilo Alpha.
It was giving me the ATIS to Kilo Oscar. No, what was it? Kilo Alpha? Hang on.
Kilo Alpha Charlie Victor.
Kilo, yeah, that's the runway that we just took off from. That's not what I want. But it says KSTS right there. Press enter. It's got it backwards. This right here is the ATIS. This is the information. So there's another bug, Microsoft. This right here, I know this from flying this already. This right here is the ATIS and the ASOS. And then you got ILS 32. All of this is the information, not for KACV, but for KSTS. So Microsoft Flight Simulator, you have that backwards. So anyway, let me go ahead and back down. We are just now at altitude now. I'm backing down just a little bit. And you can notice the tone of the engine changed a little bit.
Continue to Jaeger as planned.
But anyway, we're going to go ahead and put this into the 125.50. Press that enter right there, and then make that active. And the ILS 32, there is no ILS 32 at Kilo Alpha Charlie Victor. And so for some reason it came in backwards, but what I want to do with this right here, the NAV1, is I'm going to go ahead and load the ILS in there now, in case we do have an ILS approach. We'll find out when we get closer. So press enter there, and then so that number's in there, and I'll make that active, and I'm going to go ahead and light up NAV1, the audio on that. And alrighty. And we are flying. Let me go ahead and bring this back to the flight plan. And that's interesting now. There are bugs, and this is one of them. So you highlight this. This is supposed to be for... Okay, now it does have the right ones in there. Okay, so it's got it in there correctly now. This is the approach. This is the surface observation station. This is the ATIS. This is the ILS. And then going back there, KACV. Press enter. Okay, so this is all the numbers there for KACV. Now I'll have to look at my video and make sure. There's a SkyWest 5966 coming in from San Francisco. I have all the...
7 Charlie Charlie traffic is 10 o'clock, 4 miles at 13,200 feet generic. Report them in sight. SkyWest 5966 traffic is 9 o'clock, 3 miles at 9,900 feet Cessna Skyhawk. Report them in sight.
Traffic in sight.
Cessna 7 Charlie Charlie have the generic in sight.
Generic. Look at the sliver of the moon there.
SkyWest 5966 have the Cessna
SkyWest
Skyhawk in sight.
5966. There's a really cool program, an app on your phone, and it's called Flight Radar 24. There's SkyWest 5966. SkyWest 5966. That is a plane that is flying from San Francisco to where we just came from, to Arcata. And this is that's an Embraer E175LR, registration November 139 Sierra Yankee. And Microsoft Flight Simulator calls it a generic. And I think they do that for the simple reason that you have to have if you call it by its name, you have to pay royalties or whatever. I don't know what it is, but they have to call it generic. Okay, trying. There we go. Got it. There we go. So they are heading into the fog. They're probably going to be doing the ILS approach over at Kilo Alpha Charlie Victor. Now we are going to be flying to the Charles M. Schulz Airport. So I have another in-flight video, and again I'll put a link down below to these videos. And this one right here is from a website. Obviously he's, or a YouTube channel, he's a flight enthusiast, or not flight enthusiast, but Charlie Brown enthusiast. He's got clips, different clips of Charlie Brown videos. So let's go ahead and watch the surprise video.
By the way, whatever happened to the World War I flying ace? Oh, he's probably getting ready to take off in a Sopwith Camel on the next dawn patrol. His mission is to find the Red Baron and shoot him down. Here's the World War I flying ace, climbing into the cockpit of a Sopwith Camel. Contact, he shouts.
Going to 134.15 Cessna 7 Charlie Charlie.
Okay, well, I'm just not gonna go back to COM 1 right here. I want to be interrupted here. I don't want to be interrupted here.
Kilo Alpha Charlie Victor, automated weather observation 1800 Zulu. Wind 276 at 5. Visibility, tree.
SkyWest 59er, 6-6 descend and maintain 4,000.
Now, why am I hearing it still?
SkyWest 59.
Alright, we got a video here. We're going to go ahead and watch it again because I don't want to be interrupted.
By the way, whatever happened to the World War I flying ace? Oh, he's probably getting ready to take off in a Sopwith Camel on the next dawn patrol. His mission is to find the Red Baron and shoot him down. Here's the World War I flying ace, climbing into the cockpit of his Sopwith Camel. Contact, he shouts. Here's the World War I flying ace, imagining he's down behind enemy lines, making his way across the French countryside.
Alrighty. So isn't that the best? I mean, that's just absolutely the best. That's in honor of Charles M. Schulz. Of course, we are on our way to the Charles M. Schulz Airport. In Sonoma County. Let's go ahead and contact now Oakland Center.
Oakland Center, Cessna, November Charlie, 77 Charlie Charlie, 10,000 feet.
Beautiful day. This is real-time
Cessna
weather.
November Charlie, 77 Charlie Charlie, Oakland Center altimeter 30.06.
Now this is going to affect our altitude a little bit. Watch what happens. 3006. Oh, wrong one. 3006.
Cessna 7 Charlie Charlie contact Oakland Center on 132.2. Good day.
132.2 for Cessna 7 Charlie Charlie. Oakland Center, Cessna, November Charlie, 77 Charlie Charlie, 10,000 feet.
Cessna November November Charlie 77
3006. Sounds like the same lady. She's working both centers. Alrighty. A little bit more probably out of the national forest and then more into the forestry logging industry land. So there's a Pack Valley 8731 going to Jaeger. I believe that's also, I believe that one's going to KACV. See if we can see it in the air. We might see it a little bit later on. It's still out of our range.
Pack Valley 8731, Hawaiian 89er descend and maintain flight level 320. Hawaiian 89er descend and maintain flight level 320. Hawaiian 89er descend and maintain flight level 320.
Trying to look up Pack Valley Airlines. So would that be West Air? Trying to find it on Flight Radar 24. I'm not finding
Hawaiian
it.
89er descend and maintain
Hawaiian
flight level
89er also. I'm not
320.
finding that. Hawaiian 89er. Hawaiian
Descend and maintain flight level 320.
Hawaiian Airlines.
89er.
Yeah, I don't see Hawaiian. Okay, there it is. Finding it live, showing on the map. So that one right there is going from, well, it can't be. That one's going from Boston to Honolulu, and they're talking about it descending. Anyway, let's look at our drone. Just all kinds of forest land here. Beautiful weather in California now. We don't really have any. We're at 10,000 feet and we don't have any icing. I mean, it is 0 degrees, but we're doing good as far as the weather's concerned. We have. I'm increasing my power just a little bit. Maybe to buy some time. I got it just about to the top of the green there, the arrow there. And we are traveling with a tailwind, a 15-knot tailwind, about 96 knots indicated airspeed, about 115 true airspeed. And again, I'm going to go ahead and we have the ATIS now on COM2, right? 120.550. And I'm going to go ahead and turn on COM2 when we're in range. We should hear the weather. To our right there, that is the Pacific Ocean. We should be in range shortly. We are now about 23 minutes away from Eni. And then what we're going to do now is we want to assign our altitude. It says 6734. So I'm going to assign my altitude to 67. 6,000, 7,000, this is thousands, this is hundreds, 6,700. And now what I'm going to do on the flight plan, or on the panel here, is I'm going to type or click the VNAV, vertical navigation. Click that. So now a vertical path is loaded. And so now when we get to any, we're going to start our descent here. Let's go ahead and take a look at that real quick. We'll look at any. I'm going to zoom in just a little bit there. And you can see a TOD, top of descent, just after any. So we're going to go to any, and we are 23 estimated time en route is 23 minutes to any, and we are 26 minutes to our the start of our descent to 6,700 feet. And probably by then, whenever we are in at any, we'll be in range to the we'll probably hear, maybe even before, we'll probably hear the automated weather service, the ATIS from KSTS. But right there is the ocean. It's just two ways, you know. I like to have this right here to see a little bit of the nose here.
Hawaiian 89er descent and
And
maintain flight level 320.
it seems like, you know, if I get off a little bit, you know, this is using my Xbox controller. Over.
Descend and maintain flight level 320 Hawaiian 89er.
And then I try to press the space bar, and I go down, and then I look to my left, and look at where I'm like, I got my head up here. That's not what I want. And then when I look back, I don't see my nose again. And so what I do is I have the Xbox controller, I bring this here, and then I bring it up with the arrow just a little bit. I have to remember that, to bring it up there, and then when I look to my left, I can see the whole window instead of mine. And then I go back and I can still see the nose. So that's what I want. So that's just a little anomaly there with Microsoft Flight Simulator that I have to get used to. And then on my keyboard, I can control 1 and then control 1 again. Control 2, control 2 again. Control 3, control 3 again. Control 4. You see the rudder pedals, brake, all that. Control 4 again. Control 5. Control 5 again. Control 6. Control 6 again. Control 7. Control 7 again. Control 8. Control 8 again. Nope. Now I hit Control 8. It didn't do anything. Control 1. Control 1 again. There we go. Control 9. Control 9 again. Nothing. So Control 1. Control 1 again. We are now.
Hawaiian 89er descend and maintain flight level 320.
You know, the ATIS or the ATC, the Microsoft simulated ATC, still needs a lot of work. I think one thing that, you know, that I would like to see, of course, is different voices. At this point right here, the ATC is talking to Hawaiian 89, or 89 is not replying. And I was looking at 89 on Flight Radar 24, and that one's going to Hawaii. Why would they be descending? Why would they be told to descend? But but the thing that I don't like is whenever the pilot in the Hawaiian 89 does reply, it's the same voice, and so it sounds like they're it sounds like a person talking to herself, and it does that with the male voice too. But there's only two voices there. There's the female voice, and then there's the male voice. And FSX back in the day, they had different voices. It kind of sounded a little bit more like robot voices, but still they were different voices. And I believe that, you know, if you look at the settings there, Microsoft Flight Simulator uses the AZURE for the voices. And I believe that they're very capable of getting different voices with different accents and different, you know, inflections or whatever. I believe Microsoft Flight Simulator, this is my suggestion, that they work on that. That would be nice. And then this right here is very redundant whenever you have the ATC reaching out to a plane that is at 32,000 feet and no reply, and then just a repeat. This right here, 360, Horizon Air 2138. Now that's a different one.
Hawaiian 89er descend and maintain flight level 320.
There we go with that one again. I wanted to look at this right here. You have a backup. Now I was adjusting the barometer pressure with this button right here, or with this knob here, but I wasn't adjusting it here, and so you can see this is way off. The altimeter setting on this is like way off. It's still at 29.9. If you press B on the keyboard, it'll adjust it. But in real life, you would want to adjust the altimeter here, but you would also want to adjust it on your backup. And so the altimeter calibration, an easy way for me to do it is this is adjusted properly at 10,000 feet. And so an easy way to do that would be, we know we're at 10,000 feet, so we can just bring that right up 10,000 feet. And then you can look at this right here, a little closer look at it, and it's got 0.1. So that's about right, isn't it? The 3006. So yeah, that's about right. But okay, there we go. 3006, and we know that we're at 10,000 feet. We know 10,000 feet is correct there, and so we know that it's calibrated correctly. Again, I'm trying to adjust it. There we go. There's a city over there. I'm not sure exactly what city it is. Let's get into our drone here and see if we can't. We'll level it out here. Okay, why isn't my drone working? There we go. There's a city going along this way. When we get to it, it's actually in photogrammetry. I think it's a little further down though. There's a runway there. I wonder if we can find out what that runway is there. Do nearest right here. We don't want to back nearest. It's 14 nautical miles at 050. So that would be in this direction. So that's probably it right there. I think you're starting to get into a little bit of photogrammetry there. There's the runway right there. And so that would be KACV. Press the button there. I think you can press the button. I thought you could press the button. Press the button. Nearest. There we go. Press enter. Nearest. Press enter. Well, anyway. Okay, hit the direct. I don't want to go to it, but hit the direct, and that tells you what airport it is. And it's the Covello Airport. So let's just go ahead and get out of there now. We don't want to go there. But it works different than the old version. The old version you press enter, and you can look at it. But I believe this over here, over that ridge, is getting into some photogrammetry. Go back to our drone here. And let's go over this ridge here. And I'm not sure what city this is either. Well, that's just farmland there.
Generic for uniform Papa
But we are going to be
descent
getting
and
into
maintain flight level
photogrammetry here
270.
pretty soon, I do believe. Yeah, when it starts stuttering like that, it's reading into the system some data. So this is photogrammetry. I don't know. I do believe it's photogrammetry. Wow. That never happened before. Being able to go under.
Cessna 7 Charlie Charlie contact Oakland approach on 127.8. Good day.
Going to 127.8 Cessna 7 Charlie Charlie.
10 minutes away from our
Oakland approach
waypoint.
Cessna November Charlie 77 Charlie Charlie 10,000 feet.
So this is where our
Cessna
drone
November
is, right
Charlie,
over here.
77 Charlie Charlie Oakland
3003.
30.03 continue S-land.
Bring the altimeter down to 3003. And then, of course, you want to calibrate accordingly here. Pretty much bringing that straight up because we are now at 10,000 feet. So we can pretty much know that this is calibrated correctly as well. And there's a lake over there. I wonder if I can look in Google Maps here where this is. Let's bring this up a little bit. Boy, I tell you, reading a lot of data here. There we go. But this is photogrammetry. You can see here, like the piles of dirt there, that's all 3D photogrammetry. I don't know why it gets off like that. It gets off like that, and you have to press both buttons to get it back level. That's another thing that wasn't happening at the beginning with the drone on Flight Simulator. But they're working on it. It's a work in progress. So I thought this is pretty interesting. This city here, whatever city it is, it's all in 3D photogrammetry.
Santa Rosa Airport information. Echo
Okay,
19000.
let's go back to our plane.
Wind calm.
We have the ATIS now.
Visibility 10. Sky condition clear. Temperature 22. Dew point 10. Altimeter 29.908.
I don't know why I
runway
have this.
32 in use.
3-2 in use.
Landing and departing runway 32. VFR aircraft say direction of flight.
I don't know why I have this
All
here.
aircraft read back hold short instructions. Advise controller on initial contact.
Turn it off and it's not on. There's a bug. Here's a bug. Microsoft Flight Simulator. Here's a bug. Buggy. Turn it on again. Turn it off. Turn it on. Now why don't we hear it again?
Cessna 7 Charlie Charlie, did you hear my
Oh
last
my
transmission?
goodness. This happened to me yesterday too, and then I don't have that ATIS anymore.
132.2 for Cessna 7 Charlie Charlie.
This happened to me yesterday.
Oakland Center
Same
Cessna
thing.
November Charlie 77 Charlie Charlie 10,000
I was
feet.
exploring with my drone, and then
Cessna November Charlie 77 Charlie Charlie Oakland Center altimeter 30.03 continue as planned.
so now let's look here. Let's try to load in our second radio. Boom. Press that over there, and we want the ATIS again. Let's try that. ATIS, enter. Press here. Press enter. So 12550. 12550. It is in there. Okay. And then press the COM. Now we were just within range just a second ago. Said ILS 32 in use. And now I can't hear it again. Maybe we'll just keep it active and maybe we can hear it as we get along. This happened to me yesterday. I was exploring there a little further away, so I guess there's a lot of information being transmitted into the system. I'm not a good talker, if you can tell. Go back here, bringing the drone back to the plane here. That's 6. That's 6. It speeds up our drone. And there's more photogrammetry. You can tell the difference between photogrammetry and non-photogrammetry. And if you look here, the non-photogrammetry is a little greener, but the photogrammetry has a little bit more
Generic for
of the
uniform
color.
descent and maintain
And
flight
all of
level
this right here, all of
270.
this farmland, this is all in California. This is all, it's reading, this is all photogrammetry. So those are the real buildings there, real dirt hills and whatnot.
Generic for uniform Papa descent and maintain flight level 270.
So that's all photogrammetry, which is, press those both buttons, there we go. That's all photogrammetry. So going back into our plane now, we are 11 nautical miles from any. And we heard on the ATIS, when we could hear it, I have the COM2 on, turn it off, turn it on. I should be hearing the ATIS right now. It should be just rolling over and over and over. But it did that to me yesterday. It had the ATIS, and I should see the subtitle on that for ATIS, you know, whenever it was going on. But I was hearing or looking at the subtitle there of the ATC contacting me, and then whenever I was trying to get the ATIS subtitles come up, and then it said, Cessna, did you hear me? I think that's a little bug going on. But at any rate, getting back to my train of thought, what we want to do is on our flight plan, we want to hit the procedure. It said 32, so we want to do ILS 32, and then there's 3 initial approach fixes. This one right here is off toward the ocean right there. This one right here is straight past the runway there and then coming back. And then this one right here is more off into the mountains there. So what I want to do is I want to go to this initial approach fix here. We'll hit enter. Minimums, you would put minimums in real life. So this one's going to go to this approach fix, and then Birdie, and then Lucy, and then Indo, and then Pigpen. Notice those waypoints there are related to Charles Schulz, the Charlie Brown cartoon. So anyway, we got that, and we'll just load that, enter that, and then not approved for GPS. GPS guidance is for monitoring only. Load approach, yes. And so there we go. Now Birdie, let me go ahead and look at this real quick and look at at the initial approach fix. Now this might now it brought KBEX to 10,000. So I guess what we're going to be doing now is we're going to fly KBEX at 10,000. We'll fly over Kilo Sierra Tango Sierra, the airport, at 10,000, and then we'll start our descent toward Sierra Alpha Uniform, the initial approach fix, and that'll be 4,800 feet. It's adjusting on the fly, and then 3,000 feet, and then 2,700 feet, 2,000 feet down to the runway. So, hit the flight plan here on this right here. I'll hit the flight plan again. Now it's got it at, well, I don't know why this is adjusting. What I want to do is I'm going to manually bring this back down to KBEX down to 6,700, and I got to put that in pretty quickly. So I'm going to manually bring this to 6,700. So that's a 0, 0, and that's 6. I want to go down a little bit. Press enter. So that adjusts all that accordingly. So press flight plan again, flight plan. So 6,700. And then I already have my assigned altitude to 6,700. And I'm going to hit again. No, the vertical path is still loaded, so I don't have to click my vertical navigation. So now we're going to descend to 6,700, and then Sierra Alpha Uniform will be 5,000. So, well, it's still adjusting. I have no idea why this is constantly adjusting. But let's look at that real quick, okay? We'll go back to the sky vector here. We got the ILS right here. And so we have, this is the initial approach fix that we're going to. And so the initial approach fix, would that be 3,000? 4,000. So what we'll do, it's calling for 4,000, the initial approach fix there for Sierra Alpha Uniform. I see 4,000 right there. So we'll go down to 4,000 once we get 6,700 we'll go ahead and adjust. And this is just constantly, but this says 4,000, so apparently it's 4,000. I don't know why this number is moving around. Maybe you real pilots, if you're watching this, if you know what's going on here, or if that's normal, I don't know. There's that photogrammetry data. Again, you can tell. I'm curious as to what city that is. I'm not exactly sure. There's Cloverdale and there's Gyersville. There's Windsor. There's Boonville. And perhaps that's where that is. Maybe one of those cities there. I'm looking at Google Maps here. There's Gyersville and there's Healdsburg. And now we're getting back into non-photogrammetry, but it's interesting that all that area is in photogrammetry. Trying to again adjust with my, there we go. I'm trying to adjust with the Xbox controller. I'm terrible at using Xbox controllers. I don't know why. You can ask my son if ever I'm playing a game with Xbox. I'm just terrible at it, using the Xbox controller. But anyway, we are now 5 minutes away from KBEX, and our top of descent adjusted. So we are gonna, our top of descent, we're only 40. Whenever I did those numbers there, it adjusted our top of descent. So we are 30 seconds away from our top of descent. We could tell that we were getting ready for that whenever these two little triangles loaded up. So what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to monitor our speed. Okay, vertical path is now captured. I bet you I lost control communications with ATC altogether now. Let's see. No, we still got flight following, but I'm not hearing anything anymore. So you can see our speed is increasing quite a bit. I'm going to take advantage of going downhill a little bit, but I don't want to hit the yellow there. But I do want to take advantage of the speed going downhill to lessen the time of our flight. So I'm keeping my RPMs pretty much up there. Got my mixture on lean. So we're now going down to 6,700 feet, a good 750 feet a minute at about 116. I wanted to real quickly look at the engine here, system. We used system. Okay, now we have the ILS. We used 9.8 gallons. We have 46 gallons remaining. So you can hear now the Morse code. So I don't know if I can turn that up. I think it's maxed out. Starting to climb a little bit now in our speed. The atmosphere is getting thicker as we start descending, so we have to really monitor that. bringing down our power a little bit more. And then you can look at our flight plan here. There's the bottom of descent right there. $6,700 is flashing. That means we're less than 1,000 feet from
Skywest 3435
6,700.
Maintain flight level 270.
Now it's a solid cyan. You can see the instrument. I stands for instrument. So India Sierra Tango Sierra, that is the correct ILS for Santa Rosa Airport. Just about to bottom of descent here, 7,000.
Skywest 3435 descend and maintain flight level 290.
68. ALTS, ALT. Now I'm adjusting my power accordingly. We are now
Skywest 3435 descend and
at
maintain flight level
6,700.
300.
Now what I want to do, now that we are at 6,700, I'm going to bring it down the assigned altitude to 4,000. Bring this down to 4,000.
Skywest 3435 descend and maintain flight Delta 7907 climb and maintain flight
And
level
then we'll hit
380.
VNAV. Now let's look at that Morse code real quick. We're doing...
Oakland Center, generic
Oh, I
November
just
10
accidentally
for
hit.
Romeo.
This is what happens whenever you
900
accidentally
feet,
hit that.
climbing 13,000 feet.
My engine almost conked out.
Generic
We're out of
November
2 lane.
10 full Romeo,
But,
Oakland Center altimeter,
we have
29.999. Continue as planned.
Our fuel flow graph. We're bringing this right here
Delta
to the top of the
7907
green.
climb and maintain flight level 380.
Let's listen, if we can, through all of this chatter. Let's listen to the ILS frequency. Back that up a little bit. Back that up. So the
Skywest 3435
ILS
descend and
frequency
maintain flight level 340.
is listen. Dot. Dot, 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 dash, dot, dot, dot. Again.
Delta 7907
Ah!
climb and maintain flight level 380.
Here. That tells pilots that they are on the right frequency. So we'll go ahead and turn that off. N104R.
Skywest 3435 descend and maintain flight level 340.
N104R. That's a jet. Santa Rosa to Portland. So I took off from Santa Rosa, and that is going to Portland, and that is a the airline is called Speedbird Jets, and that is Cessna
Delta
750 Citation
and
X.
maintain flight level tree 80.
So Citation Max.
Skywest tree 435
There's
and maintain
one of your brothers
maintain
there.
Flight level tree 80 Delta 7907.
November 104 Romeo. On their way to Portland. I think I'd be wanting to stay in Santa Rosa. It's nice here. Okay, so let's look back at our flight plan here. We're going to be flying over Kilo Sierra Tango Sierra. We're flying over the airport. The airport is straight ahead. So we're going to be flying over the airport, and then we're 10 miles away from the airport right now. And then we're going to do the ILS approach starting at Sierra Alpha
Skywest tree 435 descent and
uniform,
maintain flight
the
level
initial
340.
approach fix.
Generic 04 Romeo
And I
traffic.
brought it
5
down,
miles,
I'm
3
just
miles
going to
at
bring it down to
5,500
4,000.
feet generic.
And so we should see along here.
Generic 80 might climb and maintain 12,000 feet.
There's the top of descent right
Generic
there.
04 Romeo traffic in sight. Climb
So
and
we're gonna
maintain
go to
12,000 feet, generic 80 Mike.
Kilo Sierra Tango Sierra, and we're going to fly past it, and then we're going to start descending, and we'll be turning to our initial approach fix. And what I think I can do instead is I'm going to go ahead and do a direct. Can I do that? Activate that. So we'll just, instead of going to, we're going direct now to Sierra Alpha uniform, and then we'll start our descent right there. So that kind of brings us away from the airport. I hear that with the ATC whenever I am doing a flight plan. It'll say you're clear direct to Sierra Alpha uniform. So looking at our flight plan here, we are now going direct instead of flying over the runway itself, flying off toward now our initial approach fix. Jump back into our drone here, and it's way out. I don't know why this happens, but let's go ahead and come back to the plane with our drone. And I do believe that the Santa Rosa area is photogrammetry. So let's go ahead and increase our speed here on the drone. We'll go down, and then we'll fly here toward, this is the runway that we're going to. This is the Charles M. Schulz runway. I don't think that is photogrammetry. Is that photogrammetry? You can tell. Yeah, that would be photogrammetry, right? You can tell a lot of times with these cars. No, that's not photogrammetry. These cars would be 3D instead of flattened out. So no, this is not in photogrammetry. But that city back there was, so that's interesting. Now these cars right here are placed in their own, by the airport. So that'll be 3D, but that's not photogrammetry 3D there. But there's a lot of cars here parked. And this is Santa Rosa. And that's the Charles M. Schulz Airport there. I don't know why. I have no idea why this thing gets off like this, like that, and then you have to straighten it out. But this is Santa Rosa, California. Now this No, that's not that's non-photogrammetry. There's a high school there. That is the home of the Piners? Prospectors. So it looks like a pretty good high school there. Nice, good football field there. Back into the plane here. There's our destination. And again, now I can't, for whatever reason, I can't hear the ATIS. Trying to, both of the numbers are the same. Active. I can't hear COM2 now. There was that bug back there. I can't hear it. I'm trying to tune in to the ATIS. So let's go ahead and say cancel flight
Oakland
following.
Center Cessna 7 Charlie Charlie cancel flight following.
Let's do it on our primary here.
Cessna 7 Charlie Charlie Oakland Center cancellation received.
Okay, this is one thing I discovered too.
1200. Frequency change approved.
The squawk 1200. Real quick, get rid of that on our transponder. There's a VFR button. There's a hot button. Instead of going in there and typing in the code 1200, you can just click the VFR,
Qatari 737 climb and maintain flight level.
and that made it 1200.
Keep speed not above 270
So it's a hot button. There's a hot button for VFR. And let me go ahead and see if I can. Nearest airport list. And then there is the Charles M. Schulz. And then let's look at this.
Santa Rosa Airport information. Echo 1900.
Now this is what should have happened with COM2.
Wind 207 at 4. Visibility 10. Sky condition clear. Temperature 24. Dew point 10. Altimeter tree 0.00. ILS runway tree 2 in use. Landing and departing runway tree 2. VFR aircraft say direction of flight. All aircraft read back hold short instructions. Advise controller on initial contact you have echo.
Okay, we'll tune back to the tower there. And we're not going to contact them yet. But on that right there, that was the frequency, right, for ATIS? 120550. 120550. And then I put on COM2. I should hear it right now. I should be hearing it. So this is another bug with Microsoft Flight Simulator. I was looking around with my photogrammetry there, and or looking at photogrammetry with my drone there, and then the communications messed up there, because whenever I was looking at that, the ATIS came in. When I came in to look at it, it had a different description. It didn't have the subtitles there for the ATIS. And then all of a sudden the ATC is saying, Cessna November Charlie 77 Charlie Charlie, did you hear my last transmission? And then now, and then I said, yeah, and then I hit COM2, I can't hear it now. So, I don't know, that's a bug. But at any rate, we are 34 nautical miles from... Now, would they really fly that far to what in real life, if you're VFR, you don't fly that far. If you're IFR, I guess you do fly that far to the initial approach fix. But that's quite a ways away. We're 14 minutes away from our initial approach fix. Santa Rosa, California below us. Don't know if that's photogrammetry or not. F6, speeds up our drone. Some more hills there. Getting a little bit more countryside. Yeah, I don't think that's photogrammetry either. I don't know if this is I-5. Plane is there somewhere. This is real-time weather and real-time time. Beautiful day in Santa Rosa here in Bremerton where I live. It is cloudy and rainy. Okay, F6 right here. Speeding up my drone again. I'm just curious as to what this area is here. No, that's not photogrammetry either. It's a pretty nice swimming pool there. Lakes over here, or tiny lakes, or irrigation.
Santa Rosa Tower, generic November 104 Romeo, ready for IFR departure runway, tree 2.
Now that, according to
Generic November 104 Romeo altimeter, tree 0.
that was that plane that we looked at earlier, Cessna Citation.
Takeoff runway, tree 2.
It was in the air, now it's on the ground again, ready to take off.
Cleared.
Now, when I
Takeoff
looked
runway,
at that
tree 2,
plane, it was already in the
generic
air with
November
Microsoft Flight
104
Simulator, but on Flight Radar 24, that Cessna Citation was still on the ground. But it's a real plane that's going to Portland. They're leaving all this beautiful weather here, going to Portland, where it's unseasonably cold and wet. It's fun just to look out the window whenever I'm flying. I always want a window seat. I just love looking out the window. And to think for centuries and centuries and centuries, this wasn't available to mankind. You know, just being able to fly over it and soar like a bird. So we are now, how far are we from top of descent? We are 4 minutes and 20 seconds from top of descent. And when we get to Birdie there, we should be at 4,000 feet. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to change my course deviation indicator from GPS mode to localizer mode, and we'll capture that ILS frequency and do our landing. It's funny how they have Lucy, I don't know what EDOV, but then there's Big Pin, that's the final approach fix. And this, of course, you can see is related to the Charles M. Schulz cartoons. Charles M. Schulz is one of my favorite cartoonists. Of course, the cartoonist for Peanuts. And I do believe, you know, maybe he was a pilot too. I don't know. I'd have to read up on him. But you know, of course, he had that Snoopy cartoon, World War I flying ace, and they have a tribute to him over at the airport there. And of course, the airport is named after him. There's quite a bit of water there. I wonder what lake that is. We'll be approaching our top of descent here shortly. So that's San Pablo Bay. San Pablo Bay. So you go this way over here and you start getting into San Francisco. We go straight ahead. But that's San Pablo Bay there. That body of water there. We are now 1 minute 51 seconds from our top of descent. Now, if you're watching this live, you know, we're doing this real time, but I will, after this video is over and accessible, I'm going to go ahead and timestamp everything, put chapters in there so that you can skip ahead. There's a football field and a baseball field down there, obviously some high school or maybe a college. And I do believe going out in this direction you can see the little bit different coloration, so I'm thinking that's probably in photogrammetry. But at any rate, we are about ready to get to our top of descent. There's our top of descent right there. And the goal is to be at 4,000 feet when we get to Birdie. I don't know if it has a bottom of descent. You can see now that we're getting ready now to capture our vertical glide path, or vertical path. We have the VNAV loaded, vertical navigation. And so when this, okay, now it's captured. We are now descending. I'm going to go ahead and back off on the power just a little bit because we're descending quite a bit. Look at this. Boy, that's just dropping. And then we are starting our turn here. I'm going to go ahead and contact the airport and we're going to go ahead and ask.
Santa Rosa Tower, Cessna, November Charlie 77.
Now this
Charlie,
is all
Charlie,
entertainment. This
0
isn't
miles south, 5,900
probably
feet
not
with
how
Echo
they
to
would
land.
do it in real life.
Cessna November
A
Charlie.
lot of what I'm
77
doing
Charlie,
they wouldn't do in
Charlie,
real
Santa
life.
Rosa Tower.
2999.
Altimeter 29.9er wind calm. Make straight in runway tree 2.
There's our bottom of descent right there. Let me go ahead and acknowledge.
Make straight in runway
There's
tree
our
2,
bottom
Cessna
of
7
descent
Charlie,
right
Charlie.
there, DOD. And that would be right about where Birdie is. B-U-R-D-E. Increasing our speed. Might as well take advantage of going downhill, as long as we don't hit the yellow, and as long as we don't have hit the yellow on our RPMs as well. Now we are headed toward the runway. Once we hit Birdie, I'm going to change the course deviation indicator from GPS mode to radio mode, basically. You can see the airport right there. There's a white light and then a green light. White light, green light. Beautiful, clear day. We do have a 14 knot headwind. We are almost to bottom of descent here. Kind of zoom in a little bit here. Alrighty, just at about 4,000. You can see we're gonna, well, that was another runway, wasn't it? Of course, we're not heading there. So we are now heading toward the runway. And what I want to do now is I want to go CDI, and then I want to hit approach mode. I'm going to go ahead and bring this down to 3,000, which is our next Xbox controller again. Bring it up. We are now flying off the localizer. I'm going to go ahead and increase our speed here. We don't need to be going this slow. But we don't want to be in the yellow here with the graph as well. I still got everything full. We're going to be descending to Lucy at 3,000 feet. Approach. Approach. Okay. Vertical speed. Neither one of them are working now. I'm not getting it. One. So we got approach. I should see a GS there. GS.
Santa Rosa Tower Envoy tree 907.
Localizer 1.
Southeast inbound ILS runway tree 2 approach.
Approach.
Envoy tree 977 Santa Rosa
Speed
Tower.
out. Neither one of them are working.
29.999 wind calm cleared ILS runway tree 2 approach.
How far are we from
Cleared
Lucy?
ILS
6 minutes.
runway tree 2 approach Envoy tree 977.
I'm going to try that again. Approach. I don't know why I'm not capturing the ILS. No glide slope. Okay, let's change to CDI again. How about if we, okay, CDI again, no glide slope. How about if we do this? Procedure, activate vectors to final. F. No glide slope. CDI. Nav. 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 I don't know. I don't know what's going on. This didn't happen to me yesterday when I was practicing this, but it happens to me live. Okay. V-speed. Bring it down to 3,000.
Envoy tree 977 wind calm clear to land runway tree 2. Clear to land runway tree 2 Envoy tree 977.
This is why I'm not a pilot. Nav. Okay, we're at 3,000. Let's do a direct, a pig pin. We're bringing down to 2,000. I'm going to do a direct pig pin. Let's enter, activate. V-speed. Get us down to 2,000. I don't know why I'm not capturing the localizer. I got it loaded right here. I got it active. ISTS. I don't know if this is bugs with Microsoft Flight Simulator. CDI. Approach. Now it's loaded. Thank you. I don't know what I did wrong. I thought that... so we are now 5 minutes away from our final approach fix. But we are now on the glide slope. So we'll maintain 2,000. I'm going to go ahead and do full rich on our fuel now. The fuel mixture is full rich.
Santa Rosa Tower Envoy 3977 is going missed. Envoy 3977 contact Oakland Center on 132.2.
I don't want to be in the yellow here with my RPMs, but I am trying to speed this up a little bit.
132.2 for Envoy 3977.
I did a practice run the other day, and I went to the approach fix like that. And when I turned around and I hit the course deviation indicator to localizer 1, maybe I wasn't within range yet on this particular time. Maybe I'll have to review the video and find out what I did wrong. But my V speed, I mean, I brought the assigned altitude down and hit V speed to see, or the vertical navigation, that wasn't going, and then it said no GS. So maybe that was something that was correct, that would really happen. Maybe I was just out of range. Unexpected for me, because I've never done this before. Try to get just there's the Envoy 3977 that missed. But what we'll do here, it is loaded now. I loaded the approach. I set the assigned altitude to 2,000. We'll just keep that there in case we go missed, but we won't. We're going to land. Unless they tell me to go around, which I hope they don't. Probably land anyway. In Flight Simulator, not in real life. So we're cooking along here. Cooking into... We have a 10 knot headwind, a little bit of a crosswind, so it might get a little tricky on our landing. We are 2 minutes 35 seconds to our final approach fix, which is Pigpen. So that Envoy right there is apparently coming into Santa Rosa from Dallas-Fort Worth. minute 52 seconds.
Santa Rosa Tower Envoy tree 90779 miles south, inbound ILS runway tree 2 approach. Envoy tree 90777 Santa Rosa Tower. Altimeter 29.908 wind calm cleared ILS runway tree 2 approach.
29908.
Cleared ILS runway tree 2 approach.
Well,
Envoy
hopefully
tree
that envoy will be behind me, so... Or are they going to land first and then they're going to tell me to go around? I don't know, they're going to tell me to go around. You're going a lot faster than I am, that's for sure. Okay, our diamond is now just about to our level.
Envoy tree
The altitude.
977 wind calm clear to land runway tree 2.
Now,
Clear to land
I
runway
hope
tree 2.
I hope
Envoy
this
tree 977.
this airplane doesn't block the runway and prevent me from landing. Just have a feeling the way this flight's been going that that's going to happen. Now I'm going to go ahead and press first set of flaps there, loading or running it down now to about 80 knots. Maybe we'll bring it down to, it says the best glide speed is about the G is the best glide speed. I'm going to bring down another notch.
Cessna 7 Charlie Charlie, follow the generic on final. Wind calm clear to land runway tree 2.
Cleared to land runway tree 2 Cessna 7 Charlie Charlie.
I'm going to go full flaps now. We are on the glide path. We have a 8-knot crosswind. Keep it on the G there, going a little slow. Mixture is full, rich. They're going to tell me to go around.
Santa Rosa Tower Envoy tree 9077.
Going missed again. Good. Get out of my way.
Envoy tree 9077 contact Oakland Center.
I don't know if
Oakland
in
tree
real life
2
it's going missed, but
Good
in
day.
the flight simulator world it is. But it's out of our way, so that's good.
Going to 1 tree 2.2 Envoy tree 9077.
We got flaps full. We're going down the, trying to go down on the glide, the G there. I don't see any pappy lights. I did a practice run on this like I said the other day, and I didn't see any PAPI lights on this particular runway. I don't know if that's the case in real life.
500.
We got about a 3-knot crosswind coming in at 255. Still coming in with the ILS autopilot. This is real-time weather, real-time time. Got about a 5-knot crosswind there. Autopilot is off. Idle. Brakes.
Cessna 7 Charlie Charlie exit runway when able.
Flaps up. Boy, I'm having to use right rudder here to stay on. Follow this ribbon here.
Cessna 7 Charlie Charlie contact ground on 121.9er.
121.9er Cessna 7 Charlie Charlie. Santa Rosa ground Cessna November Charlie 77 Charlie Charlie request taxi to parking.
Cessna November Charlie 77 Charlie Charlie taxi to general aviation parking using taxiway Charlie Golf Bravo.
Taxiing to general aviation parking using taxiway Charlie Golf Bravo Cessna 7 Charlie Charlie.
I don't know why that truck is just sitting there. And a van sitting there. Yeah, get out of the way. And this ends another flight with Microsoft Flight Simulator. Put the brake on, shut off the engine, and shut everything off. Yeah, there was some unexpected things for me on Flight Simulator. I've done it a number of times, switching it from GPS mode to localizer mode using the CDI and not having any problems. The other thing that I had a problem with was the COM2 with the automatic weather information. I usually don't have that problem either, but today I did on all of that. But it's a simulator. It's fun. and there's still a lot of bugs that they constantly work on. The Cessna Citation, not the Cessna, with the Cessna Caravan, the middle comm buttons aren't working right now. You can't even access them like you can on the this plane or on the Bonanza. For whatever reason, with the latest update, you can't access the comm buttons there. So anyway, this is the end of our flight. Welcome to Charles M. Schulz Airport in Santa Rosa, California.